Hey there, and welcome to techgooch. Hey, so it's been about I got it on Friday. Today's Wednesday, so it's been about coming up on 6 days full length at least that I've had the new iPhone 10. I've already done a video on a screen protector for it, and I have some case videos coming soon for it. But I did want to give. I'm one of those guys that, for my review channel, if you know this channel at least, I do not do just quick, hey, I've had it for the day and here's my review of it. No. I have to have hands-on time with it because a lot of the little quirks and stuff like that come out in the wash, I guess is the word. Same thing when it comes to if I'm going from an iPhone 7, like I was, 7 Plus, to an iPhone 10 without a home button. It's going to take me some time to realize whether I really like not having the home button versus having it, right? So it's been several days. I've had it. I use it all the time. And I think it's about time that at least I give my 2 cents on the phone itself and whether it makes sense for you to actually own it. What do I like and what do I don't like about it? There's very few don't likes. I will tell you that right off the bat. One of the things that I thought that I might not like very much, like I said, is the home button. The absence of a home button makes it harder to do certain things. Wholeheartedly agree with that. The big item that I have had that twerks me off a little bit is the fact that it takes longer to close an application, specifically with an application that maybe screws up a little bit, and I have to close it down to reopen it, and I want to reopen it fast. It takes a little bit longer because it's more of a 2 to 3 step process versus more of a 3 step process versus a 2 step process, right? Versus in the past, you just double click the button, the app switcher would come up, swipe up, close the app, done, right? And then you click off to the side and you keep going. On the iPhone 10, you swipe and hold, the app switcher comes up. Then I got to push and hold on the apps themselves to get them in close mode. Then I can either swipe up or hit the minus button to close the app, and then I'm done. That process takes about twice as long as it did on any iPhone that has a home button. So right out of the gate, maybe 3 times as long, to be honest about it. So that irks me a little bit. I kind of wish that I push up and hold, the app switcher come up, I'd be able to just swipe and close the app. I really don't like the push and hold to come up to the app closure. And I'll actually show you that here in a second because that one really does grate me. But aside from that one item, everything else is positive. The screen, fantastic. It's an OLED screen. And I know that you read all the articles, Apple admits, blah, blah, blah. Apple admitted that's an OLED screen. Yes, you can get burned in. Of course, it's an OLED screen. All OLED screens can get burned in. Oh, darn. Why didn't we know this? I have not had any burn-in. I've never had any problems. Yes, OLEDs from distances and angles can change and be different than LCD screens. They're a different technology than an LCD screen, and I didn't anticipate to get an LCD screen. I was expecting an OLED screen. So, with that said, it's awesome. In my opinion, the screen is, no doubt, the best screen I've ever seen on a smartphone. I've seen some Samsung phones. I thought they always looked great. And now we have that technology in an iPhone. So you have all that iPhone with a lot of that awesome technology coming together, right? Wireless charging, haven't even used it yet because I really don't care. I'm sorry, I just don't. I don't need it. In the car, I use CarPlay. I plug it in. I have everything set for it. In my house, I have wires by my bed. I actually have a nice little dock so I can just set it in and charge it. I don't need the wireless charging, and I don't want to spend $50 to put a mat down so I can wirelessly charge it. That said, I'm glad I have it because in the future, if I go to an airport, I can just set it down. Awesome. Wireless charging, it should be in there. I just don't really care about it in my home use. So I know if you're the other way around, that's great. And if you want to spend a whole bunch of money on some fantastic wireless chargers, great, go ahead for it. I'd rather have the quick, fast, wired chargers. That's me. I'm also a wired Ethernet guy in my home if you've watched my networking. I like wired. Wired is faster. So that being said, the next thing, the camera. I think the camera is awesome. I don't see this holy crap improvement, but there's definitely an improvement, especially low light, especially in the secondary camera that you zoom in. I think they've done great things with the camera. It's only getting better, and I think every single iteration you can see that every iPhone is better in the camera department. But the full screen. I don't know if the digitizer is different or what, but I've been the 6 Plus, 6S Plus, 7 Plus. It's a wider phone, right? The 10 is a narrower phone. If you actually, when I'm typing on the phone, I was anticipating going backwards in that department, especially when I'm in portrait mode. If I'm typing, how accurate is my typing? On my 5, before I got the 6 Plus, my typing got substantially better, right? From 5 to 6 Plus. 6S Plus, 7 Plus, didn't get better. It just was what it was. And of course, I had typos, things like that. I've actually noticed a significant improvement in terms of my typing and how accurate my typing is. I don't know if it's just me paying more attention or if it's just, I don't know what it is. If it's the digitizer that's built into the screen, how much more accurate it is, or if it's because it's an OLED display and I have less of that depth in terms of the display itself and I'm just getting more accurate types. I don't know what it is, but I will take it because if I can actually type faster and have fewer corrections down the road, especially autocorrect that messes up anyway, I will take that wholeheartedly. I really appreciate that. So, with all the vast improvements, especially with the screen itself is awesome, I get to my favorite item, that's Face ID. You are buying this phone probably because of Face ID, because it's one of those things that everybody has talked about, whether you believe in its security or anything. I understand that twins and siblings can unlock phones if you're really, really similar bone structure to the face and stuff like that. I'm not adding insecurity to my phone because I want to keep my brother out. I'm adding security to my phone so that if I leave it somewhere, nobody else can actually get into it. That's the only people that I care about. If my parents get into it, my wife knows my password. My kids can probably easily figure out my password. Maybe they have before, and I really don't care. My kids probably more than my wife, but that said, Face ID is awesome. I didn't know how fast it would be. I didn't know how well it would work in the dark. I didn't know, all these things. It works very well. I've done it with hats on. I've done it with winter hats on that cover up this entire side of my face. I've done it with 4 or 5 different pairs of sunglasses on. I've done it in every single scenario that I think that I could actually fool and make it not work. And I understand that there are people out there that have found ways to make it not work with certain glasses and things like that. I have not yet. It has worked every time for me. And out of the gate, in order to use it, you have to actually be looking at the camera, looking at the phone for it to unlock. So that way, if somebody comes up to you and swipes your phone, grabs your phone and swipes up, it's not going to unlock because I'm not looking at it. Well, and when I look at it, oh, boom, look at that, it unlocked. It waits for your attention. You can turn that off. And if you turn it off, it'll actually be faster. And I've read an article recently, a couple days, or yesterday I think it was, about ways to make your Face ID faster because people are complaining about that it's a little bit slower than Touch ID was. It is not slow. I'm sorry, but if you think that's slow, there is something wrong with you. Is it as fast as Touch ID was? It all depends on what you were doing. If your hand was wet, Touch ID sucked. If you came out of the shower, you weren't going to use Touch ID. You would have to put your passcode in. You could do this in the shower, I would bet, and it would work just fine. That's the beautiful thing about Face ID. It doesn't matter how moist your hands are. It doesn't matter if you came out of the shower and you're all wet. It doesn't matter. It actually reads off your face and unlocks the phone. It is awesome. And now that all of my passwords are now actually integrated with Face ID, any app that I have that that pulls up my information double checks to make sure it's me. So even if I unlocked the phone and gave it to my friend, he can't log into my bank account because he's going to scan his face. That's awesome. That is awesome, and it works really, really well. I don't care about the haters out there. Yes, I love my Apple products. I don't consider myself an Apple fanboy because I'm not going to like a product just because it has the Apple logo on it. But I do really appreciate a lot of the technologies that Apple is doing. I see a lot of the stuff. I think Samsung and LG and those other companies out there, all that awesome competition is making each one of these companies succeed substantially better than they would without each other. So I can only wait to see what's coming out on the other end to make then, in the end, Apple better too. So that said, guys, I didn't want to take up a whole lot of your time, but I did want to show you at least that one little thing that irks me. So let's bring it in real quick so I can show you that lock part. All right, so let me look at the thing to make it unlock. There we go. Okay, we swipe up. This is where the thing... So, excuse me. If I want to actually close an app, rather than doing the double click, I have to pull up and hold, wait for it to come up, and I can't just swipe this. That doesn't actually close it. So I'll pull up and hold. Then I got to push and hold. Then I can either hit the little button there or swipe up to close the app. That is a multi-step process that really sucks. So, if there was one thing that I really hope that they figure out is that you pull up and hold, and then I can just swipe to close the app. That, as you can see, if I pull up and hold, it's still there. It did not close the app. It bugs me, and I bet I'm not the only person that bugs. I also wanted to make note that one of my other favorite features, obviously, that also uses the same camera for Face ID, is the Animoji. And it is so much fun. It's so fun. My kids love this thing. Making little recordings and sending them to people, and yay, 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 yay. It's just a lot of fun. It really is. And you can just, pick a different character. I can't wait for them to release more characters. So... all you got to do is get your face in front of the camera. So if I even unlock it and get to start making a text message, my kids can do this too. Ooh, I wish they could animate the tongue. That would be pretty cool. So one last item on the iPhone X that I do like and dislike. One, getting to the certain menus. So pulling from the top here to get to the menu item for all the switching and stuff. I think that's a much better item because you now have whenever you touch in that specific corner and pull down, it will get to that one. Same thing with this corner with the notifications and stuff. That is so much better. One downside though, I'm a guy that likes to put the battery meter in percentage, not just battery meter. And I can't do that on this because there's not enough space for them to show both of them. I wish that they could actually have it so the percentage was actually in the battery icon. I don't know why they couldn't. That'd be a software update. But if you want to get percentages, if you actually swipe down just a little bit, you can actually see the percentage right next to the battery. So I'm at 76%. A lot of people are actually saying that the battery life they've witnessed lower than expected battery life. I am the opposite. I don't know what it is, but my 7 Plus had less battery life, at least noticeable battery life than my 10. I can't say it was substantially different. I don't notice a lot less time on my 10 than I did on my 7 Plus. So I don't know whether I had some other apps running in the background on the 7 Plus that I don't have on here, although I did the full backup onto it. So time will tell, I guess, on that regard. But so far, I'm not disappointed with the battery. I can't say it's amazing. I'm not going to say that. But I will say that I am not disappointed with it. How about that? So that said, guys, I hope I covered at least most of my gripes. And I covered most of the things that you may have questions on. You're probably going to have more, and I'm probably going to have create a second video for this anyway. Comment below. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you hate, what you love down below. Please share the video. Get this out there so more people actually join in here. And subscribe to the channel if you're not actually involved already. So subscribe. Check us out at techgooch.com as well as techgooch on all the social stuff. So we will catch you on a future video. And I got some case reviews and other accessories for the 10 coming soon. So thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.